One of the things Nintendo fans always crave when it comes to Nintendo is new IPs, and when the Switch was launched, they gave us one. So why isn't it as popular as the others? Today, we find out. Hello YouTube, it's your host Raven Rose, and you are now watching Dual Edge. Let's rock. Now, when ARMS was first announced at the Nintendo Switch press event, I'm sure that results were pretty positive. It had all the Nintendo trademarks we all know and love. Cool characters, a really cool settings, kind of a dumb name, but apart from that, all the great stuff we love about Nintendo greatness was here. And even though this game took some of the same roots that Splatoon did, having a new unique setting, cool characters, and a very unique take on an already established gameplay style, it just hasn't caught on with the public the same way as its Inkling sibling. And let's look at why. Now remember guys, this is just some constructive criticism. I actually really like ARMS, I am not hating, okay? I don't want the Nintendo crazy fanboys following me around the internet. Now, one of the things that was working against ARMS from the jump was the fact that it was marketed as a fighting game, and not just any fighting game, more or less of a hardcore fighting game. They had the game at regular tournaments like Wednesday Night Fights and EVO, and even brought in some of the FGC's top members and most notable players to promote the game, which hey, if you're trying to market a fighting game nowadays, it's a great idea. Get the community behind it. But as we know, fighting games, even though they are very popular, with some franchises selling in the millions, it's still a pretty niche kind of genre. And some more casual gamers will be immediately put off by the fact it's a beat 'em up or fighting game because of the skill gap it takes to enjoy the genre. Now, in some ways, ARMS did make up for this with its more light-hearted approach to the genre. And yes, I am totally aware I said genre too much. Now, one of the things I do hear a lot is that ARMS could have used a story mode, which I kind of agree with. The game is packed with so much potential for lore exploring. All of the characters look so cool. The idea behind the ARMS League and that announcer Biff, what's the deal with him? Everything is packed to the brim with charisma and cool. Why not explore it more? Come on Biff, I know you're holding out on us. Come on Biff, what do you know? What do you really know about ARMS, huh Biff? What do you know? Now, even though it does lack some kind of a story mode for each character, something to more flesh out their backstories and their actual characters, I do think ARMS does quite well as regards single player content. It could be better, but I do think it has some interesting ideas. Yes, ideas. You've got 1 versus 100 mode, tag battles, skill shot, basketball. Even the traditional arcade mode has its own original spin on it. With more than just fighting, it actually incorporates different modes like volleyball. Now, as far as modes are concerned, one place where I really do have to commend Nintendo is the online mode. Apart from ranked matches where you can test your mettle against other hardcore battle opponents, there is a more casual friendly party mode where you can jump online and enjoy a variety of gameplay styles and modes. Whether it's 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 3-on-1 or sports, and you can do this multiplayer, which even adds to the fun. Now, as a fighting game, here's where ARMS in my opinion gets it wrong, its overall lack of depth. Now, don't get me wrong, for a game with only 3 controls, right punch, left punch, grab, and rush I guess, so I guess there's 4 controls, this game does have a load of depth. But in comparison to other games like Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Virtua Fighter, hell, even in comparison to Smash, ARMS does lack a lot of depth for more higher level fighting game fans. Things like high level combos, special moves are all absent from this game, and even though this game is highly polished in some areas, there still is a high degree of random factor in the gameplay, which can lead to some gamers doing very cheap tactics like overthrowing, spamming certain moves with arms, and just general nerdy gameplay. All of which is funny, as there is a whole bunch of people who want to play the game, because I see it all the time on Reddit, but they feel as that there are no tutorials or no real way that they can get into the game without getting beaten down. Now, in my opinion, the in-game tutorial does do a very good job of actually explaining the core mechanics of the game and getting you up and ready to be a fighter. But there are some tips and tools of the trade that Uncle Nintendo didn't teach us. Well, in the game anyway. Online, they uploaded a whole bunch of nifty tutorials. And I'm not gonna lie, it would have been very cool if they could have just patched them into the game, into the tutorial mode, at least just to be able to watch them, just to refresh our minds and get newer, more casual players up to speed with the rest of us. But that being said, this is still a very fun game which you can still enjoy casually. There's plenty of modes, like I said, 1 versus 100, skill shot, even the sports mode and the arcade mode, which you can enjoy and still get a lot of fun out of. But yes, I agree with the people who do complain a little that it would have been great if there were more tutorials for beginners. Yes, so there you have it, my hypothesis on why ARMS isn't the juggernaut it could and should be. Now, I will retort that I do like this game and that I do think it's cool, but at the same time, I do have to acknowledge its faults. Now, as I said before, marketing the game as a fighter could have hurt it in the long run, especially when it has such strong casual appeal. Maybe something along the lines of, you know, as Smash Brothers, marketing it as the next Smash Brothers, as the next big party game, might have been a better move, especially since ARMS and Smash Brothers are so different from each other gameplay wise. Maybe Nintendo could have been the home of the party fighters, who knows? Yeah. And another thing about that game, which is a little bit on the dubious side, is the name. I mean, ARMS? I mean, how long did it take to think of that? I mean, come on, they don't even all use their arms to fight like that. It's crazy. Maybe something, I don't know, Project KO, something, just something with a little bit more zazz. I understand the premise and stuff, but come on, ARMS, it took all of 2 seconds to think of that. But anyway, as I said before, the game is still great. I still love playing it. Still cool. You know, just wish there was a little bit more to it. So remember, Nintendo crazy fanboys, I don't want no beef. Don't have to follow me around in the street, okay? But yes, let me know what you think about ARMS. Do you think it should be more successful? Is it one of your favorite games? And if you're new here, like and subscribe. Sayonara.